Time at 11 minutes to the hour. Tomorrow marks the 7th anniversary of the world's worst nuclear accident at Chernobyl. At least 8,000 people died and the tragic results are still being felt. It was an explosion and fire in one of the plant's 4 reactors which caused radiation to spread over a wide area. The republics of Ukraine and Belarus were worst affected. 5 million people still live in contaminated areas. Hundreds of thousands of people were sent to help clean up after the disaster. Thousands of them became ill afterwards. The World Health Organization says the most serious issue is the enormous rise in thyroid cancer among children. In the 7 years since Chernobyl, there have been 20 times the number of cases than the period before the accident. And there's been widespread criticism about the treatment of Chernobyl's victims and the standard of care in the hospitals. Well, the lack of help for victims has encouraged some to turn to alternative medicine. And joining us now is Dimitri, who was 6 years old at the time of Chernobyl and fell seriously ill. The man who helped Dimitri and many other children was Clif Sanderson, an alternative healer, and he's now married to Dimitri's mother, Galina. And they're with me now. And welcome to Sky.
Thank you.
It was your experiences, actually as a television producer and as the mother of a child who was affected, that prompted a whole movement, which we're going to talk about in a moment.
Yes, and this led to organization which is now called Focus, Friends of Children United to Save, which we established in the United States, and it's an international organization. And the main purpose of this organization is to promote natural methods which can help thousands of people suffering from ecologically created illnesses, not only in Chernobyl.
You went to make a film, didn't you, about some of the children that were being affected?
Yes.
What did you see there?
Well, it was very, very sad picture, and that's why working in one of the hospitals, in Hematological Children's Hospital in Minsk, I saw that 10 or 12 children usually die during a week. And seeing the mothers in great despair and seeing these children in heavily sick, I tried to find any solution, and I think we now can say with Clif that we do have this solution, or at least we are getting many answers.
Clif, what is the answer that you're offering? It's a form of laying on of hands, is that right?
It is a form. You know, all over the world, the medical systems are changing. Some of them are decaying because the patients themselves are demanding something new. What we're finding by working with top Russian scientists and physicians and doctors is that there's the ingredient of the consciousness that we need to take account of. And that's where we're getting the most amazing results, where we include the consciousness of the practitioner. So it is a form of laying on of hands, but it's a much more expansive view of it.
Now, Galina invited you to go and see some of those very ill children in Minsk. And what did you do for them?
Well, you know, when you're there in these hospitals and you're holding these children as they're dying, you can never forget that. And whatever your status, you're going to try and do something. And so when Galina invited me, and I was at that time lecturing in the oncology hospitals of Moscow, and so when I was there, I did just as I've been trained to do and as I've experienced over 20 years in various countries.
Is it a special power you have?
No, absolutely not. It's available to all of us. It's as simple as this. It's that nature desires life to continue. That's why we've been here for 25 or more million years. So it's that simple. And it's as transferable as the experience we've all had. If someone yawns in a room, someone else yawns. No scientist can explain that to us. Yet there's a contagiousness.
Now, Dimitri, Clif helped you, of course, didn't you? Because you were quite ill after Chernobyl with all sorts of different symptoms, and nobody could quite put their finger on it. What did Clif do for you? 1 minute you were telling me about being poorly and then getting better.
Well, actually, Clif didn't do the usual stuff that he does on other children, but actually he kind of like was kind to me and gave me sweets and my brother sweets and gave me badges, and well, maybe once or twice he gave me a healing session. And then he was kind to my mom, and I just didn't...
Happiness made you better.
Yeah.
With a few sweets thrown in. Now, you've actually taken 170 children last year, was it,
Yes.
to Eastern Siberia. You want to make a permanent centre where you can help children.
Yes, our plan is to establish an international natural medicine and teaching center where we can bring not only children from Russia, from Belarus and Ukraine, but also people who suffer from ecologically caused diseases from all over the world. And you know, radiation is just only one problem, which now is so often.
Yeah.
And there are people suffering with the same problem in Pacific Islands and in America.
And of course, when you started off on this this campaign of yours, the authorities in Russia, in fact, thought you were a CIA agent, didn't they? And you had to leave. But presumably now that the results are there for everyone to see, they're being very encouraging, are they?
Yes, the results are really encouraging, and we're working with a team of doctors from Moscow and from Belarus, and they test children before and after the treatment. And we will publish this paper very soon, I believe, in medical journals, so it isn't just our observation, it is scientifically proven facts.
And if there was, heaven forbid, another Chernobyl, do you think the authorities would cope with the aftermath differently?
Well, I hope so, that there is some experience. The recent explosion in Tomsk in Siberia didn't show that there was a lot of change in their behavior, but I think that the people are more aware what they have to do now. And plus we're trying to bring all the experience which does exist in the world, how to behave, how to treat yourself in these circumstances.
Thank you very much. Good luck with all your projects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, it's 4.